Although I always tend to try most of the games that people ask me to try, some arouse my genuine curiosity. TailQuest Defense was one of those, as it left me wondering how they would combine two concepts that are not always easy to reconcile. Since you are here, why don't you leave a like, a comment, or even better, subscribe to the channel for more indie content just like this one. It's a massive help. Thank you a lot. TailQuest Defense is a 3D tower defense with an associated exploration component. When I looked at the trailer, I was curious about some things, the first being the realization of 3D, something that is not as simple as it seems. You have to see the bad transition of games like Sonic to this medium. Another thing that caught my eye was in how such in a small map they would make exploration challenging, or if you call it exploration, it would just be very far-fetched. Everything about this game is cute, to the point where all the characters, friend or foe, seem to throw Care Bears through their eyes. Our objective is to prevent the Nants from kidnapping the Nimbers, while at the same time recovering and rebuild areas occupied by the former. Of course, rebuilding is figurative, as this only happens in text, as nothing like that happens on screen. With this, we hope to achieve peace in the kingdom. Graphically, in a very polygonized 3D, with everything happening in slow motion, very calm and relaxing music where even the chirping sound of birds is not missing. Nothing in this game remits to stress, except for the strange camera angles that we are occasionally forced to take so we can access some of the hidden areas. And if in these areas that effect is intentional, so to create some surprise in exploration, there are times when it is simply the design of the level that gets in the way. This exploration is somewhat reminiscent of what we do in games like Captain Toad, but in a much simpler version, since the area of the levels is really small and it's not easy to hide anything, so hats off to the developers for, in some of the levels, were able to hide one or more secrets from me in very clever ways. Our characters appear to be foxes and have the task of sowing plants that attack invaders of their respective color. I mean, there are blue and purple invaders that are opposed by blue or purple flowers. There are specific places where we can sow each one of the flowers that we produce as we earn currency. Considering that the space to sow is extremely limited, the challenge is to be able to optimize it. Something that in higher difficulties even requires some more careful management of plant sales just to sow another color in certain waves of enemies. Although the game is short, in an effort not to stagnate the formula, the devs throw in almost all areas, new mechanics such as the use of mines, new flowers that you can use, the ability to sow plants that generate currency, new weapons, etc. etc. Despite this effort, the game is essentially the same from start to finish, just getting more complex in the number of actions we have to carry out between each wave. What most caught my eye in TailQuest Defense was that it was in 3D, and, as I expected, its use is not well optimized, to the point where I think that our movement is so slow just to disguise this difficulty that exists in controlling our character, making a simple task like jumping a terrace in an arduous endeavor that we don't always realize if we manage to do it or not. Worse than that, there are actions that require great precision, such as the movement of jumping on top of enemies, like Mario jumping on top of mushrooms, a movement that invariably fails due to us having immense difficulty in realizing where our little fox is in relation to the ground. The short platforming sections associated with discovering secrets suffered from the same problem. Also, the simple action of pulling a lever or picking up something from the ground ended up becoming difficult, with the aggravating factor that the game is not always prodigal in understanding what we wanted to do, which led me to lose at least one plant in each level, as the game kept telling me that I wanted to pull a lever when I wanted to pick something up off the ground. For a while, I even thought that this game would be an excellent adaptation to the mobile market, but then I remembered how difficult it would be to control all these characters, and I forgot that idea in 1 second. It is possible to play this game in cooperative mode, something I ended up doing with my son, but then the camera angles got even harder, and this time it wasn't him who even gave up. I did it right after the first level. Speaking about replay value, what this game offers comes down to replaying levels to find out secrets that we missed or playing on a different difficulty. Another positive note for being compatible with cloud saves, which allowed me to play on both computers without any problems. TailQuest Defense is a game that I find difficult to classify, given that it is not exceptionally good in any of its components, nor does it have a proper target audience. I mean, those who like tower defenses will want a more challenging game. Small kids will be attracted by the colors, but for them the game is too complex. Both the exploration and the platforms are secondary elements of everything that is happening on the screen, and the story is merely incidental. Despite being well made and bring up some creative ideas, I'm having a hard time figuring out who to recommend this game to. I believe this game will do well with critics for everything I've already described, but it's just an experience, a curiosity. If you are looking for it for that reason, it's not even very expensive, so go for it. But if it's for the challenge or thinking you're in the presence of something remarkable for some reason, it's best to move on to the next one. See you next time, guys. Bye!